Good morning, everybody, and a big welcome to Google Digital Garage this morning. I hope you're having a good Monday so far, and we're going to be starting your week off really well with this fantastic session on Build Your Personal Brand Online. So, a couple of introductions while you make yourself comfy and get yourself settled. Hopefully, pen and paper to hand, and of course, a nice, perhaps if you like tea or coffee, you got a nice cup of tea or coffee or beverage of choice to hand. So, my name is Glenn. And I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Just a little bit about myself. I'm an experienced digital skills trainer with a fairly extensive background in digital marketing, in business management and consultancy. And I've worked across a number of areas, really helping businesses to identify new ways to grow, keep up with trends, and make sure that everything is working towards positive output and being recognized across the market in a positive way. So building your personal brand online is something I'm hoping I can add a bit of value to today, having helped businesses and individuals do exactly that. Now, I'm not on my own today. I am accompanied by Kira. Now, you'll see Kira in the chat function on YouTube. So that'll either be to the right-hand side or just underneath your screen, depending on how your screen is set up and what device you're actually on. So please do interact with Kira. You'll see her. It's got a little blue spanner just by the side of her name. So she's going to be there for the duration of the session. She's there to interact with you, so please do pop into the chat and say hello, and Kira can then pass on to me any comments that you're putting through. And of course, there will be a few pause for question opportunities throughout this session as we work through the content. So if anything does come to mind, please do pop it into the chat. Kira can then pick that up and answer most of those questions for you, but there might be a couple of questions that I might be able to answer for you live on screen. So again, I'll leave all of that in the capable hands of Kira. She's a very experienced digital garage coach herself. So please do make use of her in that chat function. And as I say, let's get Monday off to a good, positive, interactive start. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping before we do actually get started. If you are having any difficulties in viewing the webinar at the moment, then please do just refresh your browser. That does seem to fix a lot of the issues. This is a live stream, so just refresh the browser and that should help with any difficulties that you might have with sound or with vision and give you that good viewing experience. Now, as we mentioned, if you do want to join the chat that I've just mentioned to you, you're going to need a YouTube account. So either create one or log into your existing YouTube account. One of the great things about that is this webinar will remain live for the next 24 hours or so on the link that you came in on. So on that basis, if you want to revisit any areas, if you've got a YouTube account, you can go into your history function and you can find it right in there as well. So you can pick up from where you've left off. So that does give you the opportunity to revisit, look at some of the points that we've been talking about today, and again, perhaps just recover anything that you think might be really pertinent to you or to your online endeavors. So I've mentioned we will be stopping for the old question or two throughout the session. So please do put your questions in chat. Kira will pass, as I say, some of those on to me where necessary, perhaps if it's a question that might help the wider audience. Now, we are running this training as part of a much broader offering of courses which are available on the Google Digital Garage site. So that's g.co/digital garage. So it's probably how you booked today. There are a lot of sessions on there, some of different durations. So this one's an hour today, so for around the next 60 minutes. Some are going to be 45, some are going to be 15. So again, depending on what really suits you, there are some of those bite-sized training areas that you can pick up on too, across a myriad of topics involved with digital marketing, involved with a positive online presence, your career, your business, your aspirations. There's things like building a CV and a cover letter. There's things like making sure that you're optimizing your social media presence by things like writing for social media. Go in there and have a look on the g.co/digital garage site and see what it is that you can, that's going to really get your interest going and is going to help you ongoing. It's all, no cost whatsoever. So really worth looking into. There are also some courses on there. If you have a look for the fundamentals of digital marketing, that's a 40-hour video learning course, which at the end, when you've passed the assessment, you can then download a certification that's endorsed by the Open University. So that looks great on your CV, looks great on your LinkedIn profile if you've got one. All right, so let's move into the session and let's have a look at what we're going to be covering today. So here we go, just get my trusty clicker and off we go. So we're going to be looking in the first section at understanding our online presence and our personal brand, and how we identify with creating a good, conducive, positive personal brand. Secondly, we're going to be looking at how we actually do build that brand online, from the platforms that we want to build our brand on to writing the all-important bio and any accompanying information. And then thirdly, we're going to be looking at how we increase our online visibility. We want to grow our network. We want to post relevant content, of course, always to get that audience interest going. And we want to turn online connections into potential offline opportunities. So really maximizing everything that we're trying to achieve. Now, before we do get into the actual content, then I am going to just outline this extra offering. So I've spoken to you about the webinars on g.co/digital garage, but you also now have the one-to-one mentoring that's available from Google as well. So again, I'll ask Kira to share this link in the chat. If you're working for a small business or a charity in the UK, you can sign up for Google Mentoring at g.co/UK mentoring. That's g.co/UK mentoring. So you're going to get an hour with a digital expert on the topic of your choice. So talk through anything that's really, really important to you. For example, if there's something that we covered today that you think you'd like to build on or just talk a bit more about from a very personal point of view, then you have these one-to-ones available on screen, live with a mentor, and you can work through any of the challenges that you're experiencing. So please do bear that in mind and please do sign up. It's a fantastic program. And again, there's no cost to you there at all. All right, so let's actually now move into the session, our webinar this morning, and we're going to start with that first section that we were looking at previously, which is understanding our online presence and our online brand. Now, one of the questions I'm going to ask is about the brands that perhaps you buy regularly. Do pop that into chat, and again, Kira can perhaps pass over or copy and paste anything that comes up for that so that I can see that, because I don't actually have access to the YouTube stream this morning. So any brands that you buy regularly, why do you buy that brand? For me, there's a number of brands that I kind of identify with, that I really do enjoy, and that seem to speak to me in a particular way. And that's a consequence of good branding from the organization involved, because they've done their audience research. So do you have any brands that you buy regularly, and why do you buy that brand? Why does that brand particularly appeal to you, speak to you? Now, a brand is a type of product that's manufactured by a company under a particular name, but it's more than that as well. A brand is how products that are potentially the same, because there's always a lot of competition or industry peers out there, how they stand out from each other, how we define ourselves, how we are individual as people or as businesses, and what we can do to really catch our particular audience's attention. So I think that's really, really important to note. We always want to be able to stand out and use our own individual strengths to help us to do that as well. Now, your online presence, as we're about to learn here, is everything that you do online. That's really, really important too. Let's contemplate our own online presence. Some of us might be online a lot, some of us might not be online that much, but ultimately everything that we do is essentially helping us to define our online brand. It's called our digital footprint. And that's important to know. So everything, especially, so if you're trying to build yourself up a nice positive online presence, then everything that you do, everything that you post, everything that you tag is potentially building, from your audience's perspective, a picture of you. So really, really worth bearing in mind, and always posting perhaps towards achieving some type of goal. You might have social media profiles. They're really, really key. Think about why you have that profile, what it is you want to achieve from that profile. and what story really that profile is telling about you, because all profiles are going to really tell some type of story, and that's really, really important to know. One of the things that you can do in terms of your existing online presence, you can actually find yourself online potentially. So if perhaps you put your name into your search engine and see what comes up and have a look and see if there's anything on there which you find which is might, hopefully not, but might be a bit of a surprise. It's really worth doing those online audits and double checking that everything out there is exactly as you'd expect it to be. I do that. There is a tool called Google Alerts, put my name in it, and every time something on the web that's indexed comes up that includes the phrase with my name in it, that's going to send me an email alert. And it's really useful because, again, you can avoid things like, or help yourself avoid things like identity fraud, that type of stuff. And also, again, make sure that if anyone perhaps is posting about you, that they're posting things that you're happy with, so that at least you've got that opportunity to intervene where you feel is necessary. So I can see that we've got from business, I think brand is a feeling. That's a nice way to put it, actually. Thank you very much indeed for that. Yeah, it kind of is a feeling, or at least it produces a feeling. Maybe we could extend on that and think about it a bit like an emotional connection. So we are building emotional connections with our audience and with our potential customers by producing feelings in them via our posts and our online presence. It's good. I like that very much. Not had it quite put that way before, but yeah, very good indeed. So let's have a look. Your online presence is going to include content that's created by you. So again, we're back to this digital footprint area. So that could be photos that you're uploading, videos you're uploading, the statuses even that you're changing. You have to be really careful with those sometimes, because sometimes they can give away a lot of detail. Again, appropriate language, perhaps the positive thrust of that profile, really, really important to keep all of those elements tied in together. Now, you can also be tagged, as I've hinted upon, you can be tagged by other people too, and you do have to bear that in mind, because are they always going to be posting or tagging in your interest? That night out that you had a few weeks ago celebrating, we've just come through, the festive period. So maybe you were out socializing a bit more than you normally do. And maybe there a couple of photos of you might well have turned up online. Are they again going to be the ones that are going to help you to fulfill your goal? That's important to note. And again, it gives you an opportunity if you're looking for any notifications, to make sure that it represents you in exactly the way that you want it to. And then your internet activity, of course, is part of your online presence. You can see that your cookies, your browsing history, and of course your online purchases are also going to be tracked and logged somewhere. So there is always going to be this big picture of you emerging, almost perhaps on a daily basis, from all of your online activity. So your digital footprint, in summary here, is part of your online presence. Don't leave it unchecked, because it can be found potentially by anybody who's searching your name, as you may well now start doing, on search engines. So it works kind of both ways as well. Now, bearing that in mind and making sure that we are building a very conducive and positive online presence, we can clean up our existing online presence by looking at a few of these steps. So review your privacy settings on all of the accounts that you share on, to make sure that you're not oversharing. I'm sure some people might feel that people might overshare some of their information online. Is it relevant? Is it keeping you safe? Is it keeping your family safe? Is it just how you feel it should be? Now, you can delete old posts and profiles. There may well be accounts that you started 10, 15 years ago, when the internet and online profiles were really, really getting going, that you just don't use anymore because you've moved on to new platforms. Is that platform still relevant to you? Is it public so that people can just see what was going through your mind at that particular time? And is what was going through your mind at that particular time still relevant today, or going to help you today? So maybe do that audit that I was talking about to make sure that you're happy with the posts you've got up and the profiles that still exist. Then also you can scan third-party content. So this really goes back to perhaps using things like Google Alerts to give you an alert every time a particular phrase, could be your name, is put into search engines and is indexed. As soon as it comes up, sends you that email. That's a really helpful thing, as I've mentioned. There's also a thing called social mention. So I'm going to ask Kira if she wouldn't mind just sharing those links. Social mention is a simple to use social media search tool. It aggregates user generated content from across the net into a single stream of information. So every time, again, something that comes up or you're mentioned or you're tagged in that particular way, you are going to be able to see what that is and make sure, again, that it does fit your purpose and your needs. So you can see that your general online presence, that stuff that we do online that we might take for granted now, all counts towards the purpose and the goal. So if you're looking for a job or if you're trying to interact or impress people, then you need to ensure that you have goals that you're working towards, and also that you are generally posting with a purpose, that nothing's too whimsical if it doesn't fit the purpose of your posting and doesn't detract from perhaps the brand that you're trying to build. So bear that in mind, because again, it's one of the key areas of this topic. So we've got a comment coming from Kakal. Have lost access to my social media channels. It's quite freeing to start from scratch. Okay, yeah, I can see how that would be. It's almost like that was a lifetime ago, perhaps a different lifetime, and you're starting again. Absolutely. Just again, make sure that there's no visibility. If you've lost access, if there's still content there, make sure there's no visibility of what was there, because again, you might need to consider taking those down. But if you've lost access and everything's gone, then that can be, as you say, quite a freeing thing. And thank you so much for your comment. So let's now move on to the online presence and when it becomes an online brand. Now, when does an online presence become an online brand? I've sort of hinted at the answer to this really already. I will give you a few moments in order just to answer potentially that question. There is an answer that I feel is very definite to this question. So when does an online presence become a personal brand? Well, immediately would be my thoughts on that, because again, based on the logic that everything you're doing online is building up. So if people specifically were looking at you and all of your profiles, they're going to build a picture of you pretty quickly. That's all of your online presence, the things that we were talking about previously, the stuff that you've posted, the things that you've been tagged in. All of that builds that picture. So I think that an online presence becomes or starts to build a personal brand straight away. So a personal brand identifies who you are and how you differentiate from your peers. We want to make sure that we're really selling well our skills and our strengths. We're representing ourselves and differentiating ourselves really, really positively. Again, that unique selling point, that USP that makes us us. We're all individuals. We all work in similar but different ways, and we all represent ourselves in the way that is appropriate to us. So strong personal brands allow you to build your career off of what you've done before. And this is one of the distinct opportunities that being online gives us, and one of the distinct opportunities that having lots of, having a good online presence and perhaps being on some channels, social media channels, having a web presence, they can really, really help you. And it gives you that freedom to perhaps make something that is a personal hobby into a career. So we're going to see a couple of examples of this in the next couple of slides, which should just help illuminate exactly what we're trying to say, which is look at Sarah Ritchie and look at Sheena Maui. Now, these are real life individuals with real life opportunities that they've built. So Sarah, on the left-hand side of the screen, is a professional health and wellness coach, and she started quite a few years ago. So then started to video log workouts, fitness videos, and general, health and wellness online. She has now evolved that online presence so that she's getting paid by fitness brands to wear their clothing and to use their equipment. So featuring that equipment in her videos, and she benefits from that. So that's a great way to build, in terms of her passion was keeping fit and wellness and wanting to help others to do that, she can now do that via her online presence. Same for Sheena Maui, but across a totally different industry. You can see from the pictures there that Sheena is very much into representing her food. So she started the blog that you can see in 2016. She collated a lot of the food images that she was posting on social media pages. She started to get some interest, and probably part of that interest was the great photos. So again, brand image, making sure everything's clear, colorful, and really represents the thing that you have the passion for. So you can see some really nice photos there, some really, really enticing photos. So now again, Sheena receives invites from local restaurants to try their food in return for a review on her blog. Now again, both of those have good profiles. I just want to highlight Sheena's a little bit, because she's defining herself. She's a London vegan. She's a recipe creator. She's telling you she's got a cookbook. She's a fitness and Muay Thai fun person too, and you can find her on YouTube. So she's letting you know that she does have a wider online presence. Now, your personal brand matters. So again, this online digital footprint that you are creating, 69%. And again, let me know if any of these are surprises to you in terms of the figures. 69% of employers conduct social media checks. That figure is just going to go up because in terms of employers finding the right person for the job, why not have a look at profiles which really give away an insight into the individual? It's much, it's not just about the CV and the cover letter these days. It's also going to be about your online presence. And why wouldn't employers look at that and see how you really are in real life? Now, 89% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So reviews, recommendations, social proof, as it's called, is also becoming extremely, extremely important too. Now, just to pop back to that 69% of employers conduct social media checks, perhaps the most important part of that is that 1 in 5 of those employers or those agencies have said they haven't hired someone because of what they found. So there we are, back to are you ensuring that your online presence is absolutely positive and representing you as you need to be represented? Imagine not getting a job because you've left a few inappropriate things on one of your online profiles. So, okay, hopefully that really centers us and really gives us something to work towards. A goal gives us a brand purpose. I mentioned before, we need to have goals. So we need to have goals for our profiles. What do we want them to achieve? Now, that could especially be relevant if we were trying to find a new job, as we've just seen. So we know that when employers look for us, they're finding us in a really positive way. But it could also be from the examples that we saw where people are building their online brand. What are they trying to achieve? Well, if you look at Sheena, perhaps she wanted to achieve being recognized for being a food expert. Perhaps Sarah Ritchie wants to be recognized for being an online fitness trainer. So everything that they did will have worked towards that goal. So back to what is the goal of these personal trainers? So we're back to Sarah Ritchie. So I think that she wants to be recognized for her abilities and her expertise to help you to get fit. Now, B, you can see there is a totally different example as well. So I'll let you think about that. What's B trying to achieve? And then C, again, another wellness, fitness, lifestyle coach, you can see, Justin Cooper. What's he trying to achieve from his profile too? So 3 very similar things, but kind of approaching them all in quite a different way. So who are their target audiences? So we can see that Sarah Ritchie's kind of thrust there is about satisfaction, customer satisfaction. You want to get fit, you want to get strong, you want to have personalized workouts, authentic social endorsements on my profiles, demonstrating skill and expertise, as we mentioned before, and a good reach. So a good overall amount of people that she's reaching. She's looking to achieve that satisfaction for her customers. Now, B, I would say, is a little bit different in terms of look at the page, it's quality. It's a very professional website. There's also more than one offering there, and they're very, very keen to let people know what their clients are saying. So you've got that review section in the middle of the page as well. So they're looking to achieve and be recognized for good quality. They're doing fitness boot camps, or they're doing personal training. So they're letting you know that they have more than one offering and that they can do multiple things for you depending on your preference. And then C, if you look at some of the pictures there, it's not all about Justin in the gym or pushing some weights or helping people get fit. It's actually, look, he's got some lifestyle pictures there too, helping you build pictures in your mind of a nice, positive, happy life. So he's trying to be very, very relatable. He's sharing pictures of him enjoying himself. He's showing that he's going to motivate you, but perhaps not quite as intensely as with Sarah Ritchie. She looks like full on, we're going to get you fit. Whereas Justin's saying, I've probably got perhaps a slightly more laid back approach. And so their audiences may well be slightly different. The people looking for the building up and building a wellness regime and building, a wellness lifestyle, but perhaps a little bit more gently, that incorporates all the areas of their life, is different to perhaps the image that Sarah is trying to give in terms of, come to me, let's start working on some of those fitness areas and get you moving along quite quickly. So you can see how there can be different profiles trying to achieve different things, even when they're similar. Now, we talked about adding goals to your profile. So here's a mocked up LinkedIn profile for someone called Fatima Allen. You can see the example on the left is not that distinct. It doesn't really tell you much about her. It tells you a name, tells you a job title, and it's got a very short about. Now, in order to appeal to people, I think it's a good idea to, more information is often better than less. So if you really want to know what Fatima is about and what it is you might want to contact her about, now, because she's put there on the right-hand side that she's open to job opportunities. So she needs to give the recruiters that are searching through LinkedIn the opportunity to recognize her, what she's about, what she is that she actually offers. So she's a sales development leader. So again, she's really built out her overall description at the top, and then her about. She's passionate about scaling global business development teams. She's given people that are in that type of business that would hire that type of person the opportunity to recognize her and that she's in the industry, that she knows what she's talking about. So she's setting herself as a bit of a thought leader through really building on her overall copy content and making sure it's recognizable to people in the industry. And as I mentioned, it's important. If you put yourself open to job opportunities on LinkedIn, then recruiters can potentially find you and you can be approached. It's really, really good. It's even if it's just good for your self-esteem when you've been approached by somebody saying, oh, maybe you'd like to look through this job description because your profile gives us some, gives you some credibility, and you might be someone who might be good for this role. Okay, so there we go. There's section 1 complete. We're going to come into the pause for questions. So we've really looked at building an online presence and working towards goals to achieve all of the things that you want to achieve. So I'm going to just have a look at see if any questions have come in. So there we go. We got Kaka. Thank you so much indeed for your questions. There's a couple here from you. So how do you choose the brands that you want to build? You need to ascertain, I suppose, in short, what it is you'd like to be achieving from your online presence and what it is you'd like to achieve from your life. So if you're looking to build on the career that you've got, then maybe the brand you're building shows you as an expert within that field. If you're looking to change roles or sectors or industries completely, then maybe that is about starting to build a brand that shows your learning path, your expertise in a particular area in order for you to be seen as credible. So a lot of it's about credibility and building a presence which helps you achieve your goals. So if your goal now is, I want to move from being a fitness trainer to a chef, then you would have to show how that's been achieved, perhaps what courses you've done, perhaps how passionate you are about cooking and the steps you've taken to become good at cooking to show your transition across. So think about building the brand to cover the things that you'd like to achieve. There's another question here. How did she partner with fitness brands? Well, she probably went on to business forums. She probably contacted some of these brands directly. She basically will probably have extended her profile or emailed or found contact numbers for particular brands that she admired or that she felt complemented her own brand because their brand was strong in a particular way that related to hers, so that there could be some mutual benefits, some mutual understanding between them that would help them to work together in a conducive and cooperative way. You know, she collaborated and suddenly both parties can benefit from that. Unique concept, how to sell your first product. I mean, that's a big question, and you would need to really identify your, in short, that's something I wouldn't be able to go into much on this session, but in short, identify and do your audience identification, build some personas of the potential audience it is that you want to reach. Find the platforms that they're on. Is that on our website? Is that going to be through search? Is that going to be through paid search? Is that going to be through ads? Is that going to be through social media channels? And then start to build a positive brand and promote yourself and your products on those particular channels. So that's a very condensed overview. But again, go onto the Digital Garage website, julekco.com/Digital Garage, and sign up for some general digital marketing sessions to see how you can start to appeal to your audience to help them to essentially convert, buy from you. I've got another question. I'm going to move on very, very shortly, just looking at the time to keep on track. So I will pick up on a couple of these perhaps in the next pause for questions. We've got a question there from Kakaf. Do you have more than one skill? Do you focus on one? It's up to you. What's your preference? You can focus on both. I think if you can show credibility in both, again, as long as people understand your story and why it is, you're being very clear and showing good content to help people understand that you are perhaps a multi-skilled person in a couple of areas, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't potentially be promoting yourself in both. We've got a question from Genevieve Gutierrez. Do you think building your personal brand is important or relevant if you would like to start a business? Yes, I do. I think in the online age, I think it's very important because your online presence is how people find you and you build credibility. And again, one of the stats that we saw in a previous slide was about how many people like reviews and personal recommendations. Other people saying, I've had a good experience with this person. You have to start somewhere. So building a good online presence and being able to demonstrate that you are indeed who you say you are and that you're good at what you do, I think is an excellent way to help you to build a business from scratch and start to get people interested in you. Again, do some of the digital marketing modules or webinars that you'll find on the Google Digital Garage site, and they will give you a good push forward in terms of the things that you need to understand that will help push you and your business forward as quickly as is possible. And lastly, we've got Gigi. So that's Genevieve Gutierrez. How do you think introverts can build their personal brands? In exactly the same way would be my answer. I know we may well have challenges or barriers that we need to get past, and you can only really do things within however comfortable that you feel, but you have all of the opportunities there. And again, there may be ways that you feel that you can represent yourself strongly online without having to put yourself particularly in the limelight. Again, it could be highlighting skills, products, services, things that you do, demonstrations of perhaps of the products that you are offering out. So yeah, that's a difficult question to ask because we can only work to our personality type, absolutely. But all of those opportunities are there. And sometimes we might need to perhaps try and stretch ourselves as much as we can, maybe push ourselves a little bit out of our comfort zone where we can see that there would be a benefit to doing so. So thank you, everyone. Fantastic kind of strand of questions there. That's really, really appreciated. I'm going to move on to the next slide and get going with section 2, which is about us ultimately building our brand online. So we need to decide our goal. We said goals are important. So again, start to apply this to yourself. So it may be our goal is to find new job opportunities, or it could be to find more followers for the channels we're already on, or it could be to find new clients. So again, perhaps that links into Genevieve's question about starting a business. We need to find new clients. We need to get them from somewhere. So we need to go back and we need to think about our goals and how we're going to get there, how we're going to achieve that so that we can ultimately track our own success. So a good way to do this is well worth writing down or taking a screenshot or a picture of the screen, is going to be ways to define your goal. So I want to present myself online so let's take take a kind of wide example. I want to present myself online like a business expert because I want to gain new clients in business consulting, or I want to present myself online like a professional chef because I want to provide great quality food for my customers. Think about what it is that you want to achieve and how you want to represent yourself. What people, if you want to be someone who provides great quality food, then how would you want to present yourself online? Then that is likely going to be like a professional chef, like a fun chef, whatever it might be, but build that picture up of yourself. Then secondly, let's have a look here. I want to present myself online like a professional chef, as I say. We're looking at how we are going to define those goals. I want to present myself online like a professional chef because I want to deliver my customers great quality food. I know I will have been successful when I've got my first 10 clients or I've had 10 orders from my website. Think about what you will feel has helped you achieve the goal that you're looking for. These are useful templates because they help you to focus the mind. Think about what it is that you want to do. Then how would you want to be seen online in order to help you to achieve that? Think back to the examples of the personal trainers that we looked at. They're all very similar, but they all were wanting to achieve slightly different things. And then think about, I know I've been successful when I get some orders or when someone's left me a review, a positive review. What's the stepping stone to help you feel more positive about what it is that you've done? And also the key here is, as I said, the more detail, the better. So again, better to provide more information than less. And it helps you again to really hone in and focus and funnel towards that goal. So an opportunity there, new job opportunities, let's expand that out. So I want to find new job opportunities, but as a chef near Liverpool, that's much more distinct. So we know what we want to be. We know the location that we want to work in. Now, again, for niche interests. So if you're in a niche industry or you have niche products, find more followers of oboe enthusiasts. So where might they be? What communities online might contain oboe enthusiasts? People perhaps who like orchestras or playing particular types of instruments. Hone down your search. Where do oboe enthusiasts hang out online? What channels do they look at? Where are they likely to found? What forums? What resources are available for oboe enthusiasts online? And you can see on the end, find new clients to buy your pottery aprons. So you're selling pottery aprons and you need to find new clients. So again, where are these people online? Are they on eBay or Etsy or Amazon or a local retailer in your locality that you would like to collaborate or build a partnership up with? Find the most appropriate source to help you achieve your goals. So I need to find new clients to buy pottery aprons. Okay, so this is where now you can see that we can extend that. We need to understand, as I've mentioned before, our target, excuse me, our target audience. So who do I need to reach to make my goal come true? So that is going to be your target audience. You don't really want to just try and appeal to everybody, because of course not everybody's going to be into or want the thing that you're offering. But you have a target audience, people that are interested in your particular product or service. So that's really interesting too. Just to remember that there's always going to be a distinct group of people or peoples or groups that are interested in what you want, but not everybody wants everything. So focus your efforts on your target audience rather than being too general. So build your target audience. How do you reach them? And how can you engage with them? So we want to build a thing called a persona. Here's a good example. Again, this is well worth taking some notes from or taking a screenshot from. Build out your target audience. Again, over what particular kind of age ranges are your target audience likely to be? Are they likely to be males or females predominantly? Are they what location? If you're a local business, you need to locate perhaps particular groups or forums that are based in your area rather than it being country or worldwide. What accounts, what platforms, what channels are these people likely to be on? Is it going to be Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn? Start to try and think of the channels that would be appropriate. What are their likes? Build a picture. What are their dislikes? You're building a picture. What do they read? What interests them? What do they care about? Perhaps you are extremely interested in sustainability or helping to reach that carbon net zero. So again, if that's something that you feel that is part of your offering overall, then you're going to try and reach people with similar interests or beliefs to you. And once they spend money on, what do they buy? Remembering, of course, that if you do some research, that people do leave a lot of open information, perhaps on their online profiles, something that we can learn from and use as intelligence. Now, there are some tools, you'll be pleased to hear, to help you to find your target audience. There's some on the screen there. So Audience Finder, it offers free UK-based analytics, and that's really, really good if you want to run perhaps events through your brand. So look up and find Audience Finder. I will ask Kira to share that link with you. Think about social media business profiles. People are always looking now for that business that they're interested in on social media, to investigate them and to see what it is that they're offering and how they do things. You've got page insights. So if you've got a business page on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to find some insights that are going to help you understand the type of people that are visiting your page. That's really useful. And of course, you've got things like people search on LinkedIn, which helps you look for people based on age, location, company, job title, and skills. So again, you might want to get yourself involved in a particular area or a particular group. So again, that can be something which could really help you move along. Also think about, if you are reasonably specialist platforms. So again, if your goal is to meet those fellow writers, then your audience is going to be writers that are looking to meet up. Now, there's a platform called meetup.com. So look for writers, writing meetups. There are often, in a lot of cities, kind of writing groups. People get together, they share their experiences, they share their expertise, they share their content in a face-to-face or perhaps now online as well way. So therefore, look for platforms that meet the goal that you're trying to achieve and think, where would these people be? Now, selling homemade jewelry. So the audience for those is people looking to buy homemade jewelry, and Etsy could be a fantastic platform for that. So that's etsy.com. Again, if Kira wouldn't mind sharing that link, that would be fantastic. And even, if you're trying to find building contracts, so you're trying to appeal to people who need building work. So there could be mybuilder.com if you're based in the UK, that could help you to do that. So again, look for relevant websites or forums or trade directories that match the type of people that you're looking for, because that's potentially where they're going to be. Also, a good thing to remember when we're building our brand is which words do actually describe our brand. Pick a few from there. So perhaps if you were a chef, let's have a look at that. You could describe yourself as entrepreneurial, reliable, welcoming. Think about whatever examples there would help represent your business. Maybe pick 3 or 4 of them. If you were perhaps working in a care industry, then you might want to be recognized as humble, as likable, as professional, as sympathetic, perhaps, as trustworthy. Think again about key words that might represent the brand that you're trying to create, and what people would expect of you in terms of words and perception by using these types of very good descriptive words. So brainstorm some of those words for you and your business. Again, good one to take some notes from. So, maybe if you were in the legal industry, you'd want to be seen as efficient, distinguished, powerful, professional, supporting, successful. So you can see how different words help us to conjure up different images based on the profession that you're trying to describe. Now, the next step is to create a good description of yourself. So we're back to Fatima Allen and that LinkedIn profile we saw before. So she's really built up her description now. She's a customer service manager from Manchester. So good, we know her location. She's interested in content marketing. Now, she's open university educated, and she's a graduate in English literature. So she's showing her credibility, the qualifications she's taken. And she's also showing, again, as to help with her credibility, she's a regular contributor to BuzzFeed and HuffPost, which are two very well recognized online publications. So she's inspired you, but she's also then left her contact details. Her new ideas, so if you've got new ideas or opportunities, email me here. So you're excited by her offering, and then you are able to contact her pretty quickly. So that's a great way from A to Z. Here's what I do, here's what I'm about, here's what I'm good at. Contact me here to learn more. So there we go again, that's broken down. So her offer, so think about you and your offer. What is it that you do, perhaps where you're from or what region are you from, and what is it that you can do? Your expertise, so you're again helping, credibility is the word there. She's an Open University graduate, she's a regular contributor. And then the call to action, the thing that she wants you to do. So calls to action are really good because they help people take the next step to make that contact, perhaps, or buy now, download here, contact us, whatever it is that you feel you would like your customers to do next and what you feel they would like to do next. So that's contact. So here it's the call to action. Contact me on my email address to discuss further. So content consistency builds trust. And again, consistency is important. And that's why working towards a goal can really, really help you. So a good example of that is a discrepancy here, perhaps. I think it's really, really clear to see what that health doctor is trying to achieve, because there's lots of pictures of very, very healthy looking food. It's sort of 11:15-ish now. So on that basis, that's making me feel a bit hungry. That health doctor, so they're promoting really good, healthy food. At the end, you've got at John Bread Maker, and you've got someone making bread. So really obvious what it is that they do, and their name, their handle, as it's called online, actually matches the picture. So we know what they do. That doesn't necessarily work so well with the middle example, at I Love Cakes Do You. So you've got a guy playing a guitar. So what's his offering? Is it his band name, I Love Cakes Do You? Is it that he does love cakes and he's just put himself up a picture playing a guitar? It's confusing, and it can, based on our patience levels and I think our general attention spans, make us think, oh, I'm not really sure what this person's about. I'll just go elsewhere to someone who is really clear about what it is they're trying to achieve. So make sure that everything matches up. Choose photos, as it says, that complement your handle, to make it clear what you do, because we don't often look in and think, oh, what does he mean by that? We just think we'll go somewhere where we know what is going on, because again, it helps with trust and credibility. That again, as back to the Sheena Maori example. So she's got a relevant handle, which is her name. That's fantastic. A relevant photo, again, good. It's a good headshot, a good positive, well-lit headshot. Now, the content and the pictures that she's showing are reflecting her offering, which is food, because again, living that vegan life. So she's a vegan, she's letting you know what she's about. She's a recipe creator, she's on YouTube, etc., as we covered previously on the other slide. So this, I think, Sheena Maori's flow of information from top to bottom gives a very consistent picture about what it is she's about and what it is she's trying to achieve. Now, again, use this exercise. What skills, strengths, and experience do you want to highlight? Again, write this down. Then step 2, what does your target audience want to hear? What are they looking for? What's their challenge when they're going online? What are they trying to achieve? And then write your bio. And again, maybe just try it in 4-minute kind of sections and see what you come up with. Revise it, edit it, revise it, edit it, and then create something that you feel matches these steps. What skills, strengths, and experience do you want to highlight? And what does your target audience want to hear? And you want to match those up. Almost like when you're putting keywords into a search engine and you've got keywords on your website. So you're matching those queries, you're matching expectations, and you're giving yourself a good chance to be found. All right, so we've come into the second pause for questions now. I'm just going to have a quick look and see if anything's come in. So Kaka, what if you don't know how you want to present yourself online, and then any tips on reaching that stage? Yes, maybe Kaka, you go and look at industry peers or competitors and see how they're doing it. And maybe you look at what you think is working well for them or what you like, perhaps as a customer yourself. And then maybe look at how you can represent yourself in a way that's appropriate to you, that might be similar, and then perhaps just don't take on or do the things that you think, that doesn't work too well, that puts me off a bit, that just doesn't fit my own, the brand objectives that I have for myself. So that, use perhaps other people as inspiration in some ways. And how do we find platforms for our industry using Google search? You would need to perhaps just put in some keywords which would represent your industry, which would ask a question of that industry. Be creative with your thinking and think what it is that I'm trying to achieve. So maybe for Sheena Maui, being a vegan chef, new vegan recipes would help her to find platforms for her industry by looking at the websites that come up, the platforms that come up that might be including her new vegan recipes. So you have to be creative. Again, it's going to be different for every industry, but think about you, think about what you're trying to achieve, have a clear picture of what that actually is, and then hopefully the words will start to come. All right, so let's get into section 3 as we've got about 10 minutes to go now. Let's look at increasing our online visibility. Now, we want to be found on LinkedIn, so we complete our profile. And again, we put as much information in as we possibly can, and we also try and phrase ourselves via good keywords, because if recruiters are looking for us on LinkedIn, they're going to be putting keywords in. So, for example, I'm a trainer and a digital trainer and a consultant. So therefore, I'd want to include those words in my overall profile so that people that wanted trainers or management consultants would look for them and I'd come up and I'd match them. So put the keywords that are relevant to you and what you want to be found for into your bios. Give and request recommendations and skills. So LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to say someone's really good at something. So it could be ex-colleagues, people that you're working with now. For example, you could say, can you just write me a quick review, letting people know, or recommendation, letting me know, on our audience know what I'm good at and why. Again, great way to get some social proof, great way for people to understand that other people think you're good at something rather than you saying you are. And then link other profiles in as well. You could backlink yourself to other social media profiles like Sheena does with her YouTube account, and create a link back to perhaps if you've got a website or any particular portfolios you've got online that adds credibility, that helps people to learn a bit more about you. Now, if you want to grow your network, then post unique, high quality content. That's really, really important, because we're all looking for increases in quality as we go, as our expectations rise. You good user experience. Show your audience things that are going to make them want to come back for more. Think about stories, your story, your background, what made you passionate about the things that you do, so that other people can recognize that and share that and think, yeah, they sound really, really into what they're doing, and it sounds like they might be pretty good. Connect with your audience. So again, if people leave you comments, if people interact with you, respond to them, respond to good reviews, respond to negative reviews. Be polite, be professional, and start a conversation. Get involved in industry-related conversations on the social media channels that you're on. Again, so that people say, oh yeah, that person, they seem to know what they're talking about. It's all of these things that build your online brand, which is what we're trying to achieve. Being consistent is important too, as we've said, so that people recognize you for what you are. Too many deviations at any given time can help people lose that thread and perhaps think, I'm not quite sure what this person's about. They may well go somewhere else in order to find someone who might be a bit more consistent. Every post has a goal, and post regularly. There isn't a right amount of times on a daily or weekly or monthly basis that we can tell you to post. You have to get used to your audience's needs. Would your audience appreciate some type of update or some type of information from you once a week or once a day? You have to gauge the needs of your audience. Again, if you're on different platforms, you have the opportunity to ask them, what would you prefer? What works for you? How many updates a week would you actually like that you feel would benefit you? And give people the chance so that you can start to perhaps look at an average figure or look at how reasonable it's going to be to post once a day or once a week. You have to do that reconciliation in your own mind, and understand your audience, what your audience want. Now, in terms of growing our network, as we've just mentioned, and the points, comment, like, and react to other people's pages and posts. So get involved in that conversation. Be visual, use images and videos. They often, if we're scrolling through feeds, good images and videos are the thing that might make us stop, might make us engage a bit, and use network tools to connect. So think about the platforms that you're on. Think about how you network, how you prefer to do that. Again, it could be difficult rather. It would be different for introverts or extroverts. And again, it's really what you're comfortable with. But look at how you like to network. Again, is that online? Is that face-to-face? There are now we've come out of COVID, there are many, many networking opportunities available face-to-face now that people can get back out into the real world. It's up to you and your preferences there. And then, think about your online network to find opportunities, and thinking about how that could apply to job seekers. Then that is perhaps getting in contact or linking with people on LinkedIn who might be in a role that you want to be in. You could ask questions in forums and groups. You already do this role. What got you into it? How did you improve? What qualifications did you take? So use all of the connection opportunities available to you to help really embrace your own cause and move forward. Create that shareable content for your brand as well. So content, again, is important. Images, people love images, and they're more likely to retweet images from your updates. Photos of people's faces, people love them. Happy, smiling, positive faces, they get 38% more likes. And people love live broadcasted videos just like this. There's an immediacy to them that people really, really identify with. So if you're happy perhaps to do some live broadcasts or even upload to Facebook and Instagram, got stories and reels, look at the formats that are available to you and think what you could do, because at least with those, they're very, very short and you can give very brief updates, but they get a lot of engagement when they're done well. So develop your visual look and feel too. Perhaps that's applying particular colors or very, soft filters on things that people will recognize, like billboards where you walk along the road and you see something out the corner of your eye and you think, oh, that's whatever brand, because they've built up a consistent visual image. That can be really, really important as well and help you to define yourself and to stand out from the rest. Now, interactive media can be important. So run polls to ask your target audience questions to help you refine your approach. I think that could be really, really, really useful. Use stories, use those reels, upload that short form content to help people keep up to date. Again, that doesn't take too much effort. It can be on the go. People love the immediacy of seeing something going on right there and then. I'm in this gallery and here it is, and I'm having a great day out. Here's my update, here's my view, here's my version, and you're done. That can really, really work well and can be good for content. Think about your posts. So craft your posts to be as compelling and as interesting for your audience as you possibly can. And then consider the live stream, exactly like we're doing today. Maybe you want to communicate with your target audience at a particular time on a particular day every week. Give them live updates. Again, if that suits you and your style and some of your brand goals. So take this away. What's your, in terms of what you want to do, think about what kind of content appeals to your target audience, what the messages are that you want to communicate, again, very key, and what's your visual look and feel. And there you are. There's your brand kind of summarized. The content that you're going to send out to your target audience. So you've defined that target audience, the messages, the inspiration that you want to give, the entertainment, the fun that you want to give to your target audience, and then defining your look and feel so you can be recognized in the future. Now, we've come up to the final pause for questions, but I can't see any further that have come in the chat. I would like to thank everybody for the questions they put through today. They were very good, very compelling questions, actually, and very thoughtful in terms of you taking the next steps to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And actually, on the basis of next steps, I think take away some of the key messages that we've had. Revisit this webinar later. For a number of you, think about perhaps doing some of the digital marketing webinars or indeed courses that are available on the Google Digital Garage website, and upping your knowledge in terms of how to sell your brand once you've established it, and some of the techniques that can help you choose the right platforms, be on the right websites, be on the right forums, be there where your audience are. If you want to discuss that more, then think about the mentoring service that we've got available at g.co/UK mentoring. There may well be points that you've picked up that you would find useful to talk on a one-to-one basis on with a digital expert. So that's g.co/UK mentoring. Give that a go. It's really useful. Myself and many others who are delivering for Google Digital Garage work on these initiatives. We've had some really great results. So finally, I would just like to say thank you very much for your time and attention this morning. I hope you've enjoyed it on this Monday morning. So we'd love to have your feedback. What do you think about the session? So go to gwo.gle/digital garage feedback. And of course, Kira will share that link with you in the chat. Let us know how we can improve. Let us know what information we can help you with to make these offerings better for you as time goes on. We always love to know what you think. Okay, so on that basis, I'm going to wish you an excellent day. Have a lot of fun. Think about what we've covered today, revisit the session, and good luck indeed on building your own personal brand online. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Thank you and goodbye. Thanks. Bye.